Sahar Khamis, professor of communication at the University of Maryland. Daki, thank you so much for your time. What has 9/11 been like for American Muslims in the wake of the attack?
Thank you so much for having me. Indeed, it's a sad day for all Americans, including myself, and of course, sincere condolences for all the innocent lives lost on this sad day. Indeed, it has had a very massive and very negative impact on the lives of American Muslims. There is no question about it. The levels of profiling and hate crimes, Islamophobia, stigmatizing American Muslims, describing them as, extremists and terrorists and putting everyone in the same basket has been an ongoing trend. Women who do wear the Muslim veil or the hijab, like myself, hijabi women, have been specifically, of course, visible and therefore easy targets. Some of them have actually decided to take off their hijab altogether as a response to the amount of hatred they have actually faced and the amount of Islamophobia that has been mounting on the street. So it has been a very unpleasant scene, and unfortunately we have seen also a surge in that in the last 4 years since 2016. So American Muslims have been a target for sure for all of these Islamophobic and negative sentiments. If there's any silver lining to this dark cloud, I would say the fact that some allies and some advocates of the American Muslim community have realized the dangerous trend and have started to reach out to American Muslims and try to create bridges of understanding and interfaith dialogue, like, for example, the Unity Walk, which is organized here in Washington, D.C., Massachusetts Avenue, that really involves people from all different faith traditions visiting each other's houses of worship and trying to show solidarity with one another, that at the end of the day, we are all Americans and we're all in the same boat.
Such a good point. In November, we'll get comprehensive data from the FBI about hate crimes throughout 2019. But we know hate crimes were at a 16-year high in 2018. What do you think is a driver behind that?
I think it has been mounting up. We always talk about different waves of Islamophobia. So we can talk about, the Iran hostage crisis. It came with a big, wave of Islamophobia afterwards. 9/11 for sure was another very high wave. And a third wave came after 2016 with the current administration in place. It's no secret that the numbers have been staggeringly high since then. It has been mounting up since 2016. And indeed, in 2018, we did see this peak, as you mentioned, targeted at minorities, including American Muslims. We have seen a surge in Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, also hatred against minorities and immigrants, people from different racial and ethnic and religious backgrounds. But you can say that American Muslims got the lion's share. They got the lion's share in a negative way, of course, because they've been easy and visible targets in the case of women wearing the hijab, as I mentioned. But also you had physical attacks on mosques and Islamic centers and places of worship, making people feel less and less safe and less secure. I mentioned before one silver lining in the dark cloud, which is reaching out to others and interfaith activities and dialogue increasing among people of different faith traditions. Another silver lining has been the desire on the part of some to learn more about Islam and Muslims and about the Arab world and Muslim world more profoundly, which led to the creation of centers for Middle Eastern studies and Islamic studies programs in order to inform people better about the Muslim world and the Arab world. They're baby steps, but they're steps in the right direction. I only hope and pray that we see more of these important and positive steps, replacing the surge in hatred and trying to curb it and to cut it down.
Yeah, that interfaith solidarity is so important. Dr. Sahar Khamis with the University of Maryland, thank you so much for your time, Doctor. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And at 7:13 tonight, twin beams of light will shine from Ground Zero in New York City. This is a look at the tribute in years past. You can watch that moment live on Newsy tonight, along with more of our 9/11 tribute coverage. Newsy is dedicated to keeping you informed on the major stories of the day. You can watch us here or on our streaming